I'm Jessica and I'm a tutor at Chegg.com. Today we're going to talk about the Pythagorean Theorem. So the Pythagorean Theorem is used for right triangles and it is used to find a missing side. So a squared plus b squared, a and b are the legs, and c is always the hypotenuse, which is the side across from the right angle. It also happens to be the longest side. So always make sure to put c as the hypotenuse. If not, you're going to get your problems wrong. So what we're going to do is work two kinds of problems, one where the hypotenuse is missing and one type of problem where the leg is missing. So for the type of problem with the hypotenuse missing, we know 4 and 3 are the legs of the right triangle. Now, does it matter which one's A and B? No, it doesn't matter at all because they're both the legs. Okay, either if we add b squared plus a squared, it's going to give us the same answer. So we have 4 squared plus 3 squared because those are the legs equals x squared because x squared is c. It is the hypotenuse. It is across from the right angle. Okay, I'm going to work this out. 4 squared, we have 16. 3 squared is 9. Okay, gives us x squared. 16 plus 9 is 25, which is still x squared. Now, how do we get rid of a square, you might ask? Well, to get rid of the square, we do the opposite or the inverse, which is the square root. I'm going to switch colors here. So we're going to take the square root of both sides. That means the square root of 25 is 5. So in this case, x equals 5 because the square root of 25 is 5. Okay, so what happens if we have a leg missing? Okay, well, we have 12 is either A or B, and x is either A or B. Like I said on the last problem, it doesn't matter because they're both legs. We have 12 squared plus x squared. Notice how it's in a different location this time. Equals 13 squared. Okay, 12 squared is 144. Feel free to use your calculator if you need to. I truly recommend that you know the perfect squares all the way up until 15. They are the most commonly used perfect squares. So therefore, you should know 13 squared is 169. Okay, in order to get x by itself, I'm going to subtract 144 from both sides. So that means x squared equals 25. Uh-oh, we're noticing a coincidence to the last problem. It was 25 as well. I'm not sure why that line does that. Sometimes it does that. So what we're going to do to get rid of the square is once again do the inverse or the opposite, which is take the square root. So in this case, x is also 5. So notice two very different problems where 5 is the hypotenuse and where 5 is the leg. Okay, notice the difference. If x is the hypotenuse, you are adding and then taking the square root. Whereas if x is the leg, you are subtracting and taking the square root. These problems will be worked exactly the same way every time if you're missing one hypotenuse and one leg and you have all of the other legs. Okay, so if you have one leg and an angle, generally you're going to use some sort of trig function in order to do that, sine, cosine, or tangent. But if you have two legs or a leg and a hypotenuse and you're missing either a leg or a hypotenuse, you're missing one side. You can do the Pythagorean theorem. If you'd like to know more about the Pythagorean theorem, you're welcome to request me as a tutor at Chegg.com. Thank you.